Hi everyone! Welcome back to another How to Cover. I'm Mandaraka and I've been producing, editing and sharing K-pop covers since 2011. Today's video is a golden pot of tips and tricks for you to learn K-pop dance choreos. The first tip I want to share with you goes back to the last video of this series, and it's about choosing a song. When choosing the song, the first thing I would advise you to do is to pick a member who you're gonna follow if you're in a group, and how you're going to mix members if you're a solo. If you're in a group, you can use the formula from my last video. It's one time general, X amount of members in the group that you're watching, and another time general. Don't follow your bias unless it really matches with you. For a more detailed explanation why following your bias can be really bad for your cover, go back to my last video so you can have everything on full detail. Don't forget to take injuries, body proportions and other details into account when choosing the member you're gonna follow. If you are dancing solo, you will have to mix the members so your cover is as complete as possible. You have to watch the practice a good amount of times so you can have a really good understanding of what the whole thing is about. I did a really detailed explanation on how to mix members in my previous video, so go check it out. If you need help, don't hesitate contacting me, whether it's through social media or in the comments right here. Mirror, mirror on the wall, you're gonna save a coverist after all. But if you don't have a mirror big enough so you can see your full body, don't despair and be creative. If you have a mirror on the wall, try tilting it slightly downwards. If you don't have a mirror besides a table mirror, you probably have a smartphone or a laptop or even a tablet, which have cameras. True, a smartphone is a bit tricky, but open your laptop's camera and use it as a mirror. That has some kind of delay. Also, a window that can reflect you well or any reflecting surface can also do the trick. Seeing yourself repeating the moves over and over helps you improve on your skills a lot. In the most drastic situation, put a light behind you in a way that you can see your shadow on the wall. And believe me, this has saved me once or twice. Now, for the time-consuming part. From here on, you will have to watch the practice a lot of times. If possible, when watching the practice, use headphones and turn the music loud. But not loud to the point that it hurts you. And pay close attention to where the move hits the beat or the voice, because it can change. If you can count the moves, I tip my hat to you, but if you can't, it's totally okay. Go pa 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 do do do. This should be pretty obvious, but when learning a new dance choreo and analyzing it, you should always watch the mirrored version. If you can't find the mirrored version of that dance practice on YouTube or any other video streaming service, use this extension called MirrorTube that will basically mirror everything you are seeing on your screen. Now, slow motion is your best friend when you're learning for a new dance cover. Whether it's on YouTube or if you download the video, just slow it down to 0.5 or 0.75 and you will be able to see the moves slower and in more detail. Maybe you are missing a step and that slow motion will help you finding that step. If you can already pick up the choreo in full motion, use only the slow motion to check any doubts that you have. If you are feeling like you are missing any details, watch this website called Watch by Frame so you can really watch every single frame of that video and not missing a detail. Once you have a general idea of how the cover goes, you can move to the next step. Sit down in front of your PC and watch the arm movements while sitting. Once you get that right, stand up, get your sports clothes on and learn the legs part. And when you're done with that, mix everything together and you have the choreo. While you are watching the dance practice over and over and over, try to understand the weight distribution in every move. Usually they are almost invisible, but once you get them, you will understand that the dance is probably way easier than you thought at the first time. You will realize that the move that you were struggling with is way easier. Very rarely is 50-50 on both feet and you gotta watch for that. Learn the choreo in sequence. Don't start in the chorus, then go to the end, then go back to the start. Don't do that, it will mess you up. This only works, of course, if you are doing a full cover. If you're doing an Instagram cover, you probably just want to learn the chorus, and that's totally fine. When you are sure you got everything together, film yourself and compare it to the dance practice. Make like a dance comparison. This way you can double check everything, and my advice would be to write down every mistake that you see. The same way you should warm up before you start, you should also stretch when you're done with practicing for the day. Before you think you are ready to record, go dance without the video, just the song, and see if you make any mistakes. If something is missing or not feeling right, go back to the video and check everything all over again. Put your headphones back on, lean back and listen just to the song and visualize the whole dance in front of your eyes. If something is missing in that image, go rewatch it again. When getting ready to film the cover, go watch the live performance so you can learn the facial expressions that match the cover, and to add small gestures that will make the difference in your whole performance. Don't forget to sing along while practicing. It will give you much more expression during your cover instead of just smiling and staring. A good way to make sure you're doing everything right is teaching yourself the choreo. Put yourself in front of a mirror and explain the choreo out loud to yourself as if you were explaining it to someone else. If you can, try keeping a schedule to practice and clean your dance moves every week. I wish I could do that. Some quick notes before we move on to more specific stuff. Learning through tutorials. It's a risk, not a mistake. If you're just learning for fun, go ahead, it doesn't matter. But if you're a coverist, again, it's not a mistake, but it's a risk. Because most tutorials are a reinterpretation of the original dance and may lack some details, some important details. And they're probably not 100% accurate. I usually go to tutorials if a move is not clear in the dance practice or even in the lives because a member is blocking another or even a back dancer. In the end, it's up to you. If you never danced before, go ahead, embrace tutorials because they're gonna teach you a lot of stuff. Now, sleeping on a cover might be an important tactic for some. I know it is for me. This means that I learn a piece of a dance choreo. I literally go to sleep after I practice. I let my brain do its chemical magic, and when I wake up the next day, I have a better and solidified understanding of the whole dance and the whole moves. It's brain magic, I can't really explain it, but it works. Give it a try if you never tried it before. A very rare tip to learn choreos that I learned some time ago, it's to write the moves down. This literally means to watch the move and describe it on a piece of paper. For example, now I want to talk to you about more group-specific tactics, since everything we talked about so far applies to both group and solos. There are many ways to learn a choreo while in a group, and none of them is perfect, so you will have to test them out with your group until you find the one that works best for you. Or you can also mix them together, it's up to you. Option A. Every time you get together to practice, one member is in charge to explain the choreo to the rest of the group. Now, every time you meet, do rotate who is teaching the choreo so that no one gets overwhelmed with the pressure that is to teaching a choreo. In this process, everyone has to be patient and open to criticism, but especially the person who is teaching. Because although you've watched the choreo time and time again and you learned it right, you might be missing a piece or two that another one of your members also watched it, but watch it in a different way and can make the pieces fit together. If in a choreo there's any part where the members' moves differ a lot from each other, everyone in your group will have to learn that part by themselves. The person who is teaching is absolutely not responsible for that part, since it would mean probably to learn 6 or 7 versions of the same part of the song. The point of having someone explaining the choreo is that everyone has a basic overview of the song. You will still have to practice at home alone and check for yourself where you are doing it right, where you're doing it wrong, etc, etc. This method can be really time consuming since everyone has different learning speeds. Option B, everyone learns at home by themselves, and when you get together, you basically just check who is doing it right, who is doing it wrong, or what needs to be corrected and cleaned. Some parts will also require some coordination that you can't learn by yourself at home. Option C is a mix of the first two. Everyone learns everything at home, and when you get together, one person is in charge and will lead everyone through the dance and check what's good and what's wrong. When you are in a situation when you can't meet your group, get a partner within your group at the start of every week. You learn a specific part in the song and you send it to your partner, and you correct each other with videos of your corrections that you send through your chat. Once the week is over, everyone sends the videos to each other for another check, and then the partners rotate until it goes full circle. This gives you a new perspective from every member of your group. A correction might be through a video comparison with your original dance practice, a text description, screenshots, anything you like. One member might only focus on leg movements, another one only on arm movements, other one simply on the vibe that you're putting in the dance. If your partner points out a lot of mistakes, don't try to remember it. Get a piece of paper and write it down so you can go through every single mistake on the next time you practice. In the event that your group has problems getting aligned in any kind of angle when in a formation, I suggest you draw with tape or chalk, whatever doesn't damage your floor, what I call a union jack. This way you will have a better understanding of how it works, and with 100% guarantee will help you get your group in formation. Once you know that everything is right, take the tape out and dance without it. One of my favorite parts of when I was in a group, it was definitely the cleaning. It goes like this. When everyone has the choreo right, the most experienced person on the group, or the person who can better analyze it, should sit down in front of the group and do what I call the play, stop, correct. You, the person analyzing your group, who has the dance practice in front of them, whether it's smartphone, tablet, etc., click play on the song and watch your group dance. Once you spot a mistake, you'll literally scream stop and correct what's wrong. I know it sounds a bit aggressive, but it really works, and you'll learn a lot with those corrections. Not only for the choreo that you're doing right now, but for the future. Keep this going until you don't see any mistakes on any of your group members. In the end, record that practice and double check everything through that video. And that's basically it. Don't forget to add your own flair to the whole thing, because although it's a cover, it should have your personality in it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something out of it. We'll see each other again in 2 weeks. Until then, keep on shining and stay safe. Bye!